Good evening. Thank you guys for coming out tonight for this screening of Die My Love. My name is David Fear. I'm a senior editor and critic at Rolling Stone. Will you please help me welcome to the stage producer Martin Scorsese and Jennifer Lawrence. How you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, good seeing you as well. Wait, over there? Yeah, you're on the far one and Jen's in the middle. Nice seeing you as well. I think everyone's caught their breath by this point. Hopefully, maybe, possibly. Congratulations to both of you on this. This really kind of starts with you, Mr. Scorsese, right? Because you come across Ariana Horowitz's novel in a book review, and then you read it, and you immediately think, I need to get a hold of Jennifer Lawrence and tell her about this.
Well, yeah, I think it was The Guardian, and it was a wonderful description of this character. And we had been talking about projects to do together. And I think you had given me Kate Chopin's The Awakening. Yeah. And I read that, and I don't know, I was at the same time reading this, Die My Love, and I said, it seems to me The Awakening is something that is familiar at this point in terms of her dilemma and her choices and that sort of thing. So I said, to really get into her, I said, wow, wouldn't it be interesting to do this character? To really explore, particularly I like Ariana Horowitz's prose. It was like more like poetry. The fractured words and phrases. It's how Grace, is it? Grace? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's how Grace sees, how she perceives the world around her is fractured. And I found that fascinating. And I said, what if she sinks her teeth in that one? To see what would happen in terms of really exploring the internal nature of particularly mother and postpartum. And so I suggested you read it. And you did.
I did.
I'm gonna oh, sorry, go ahead, please.
No, please.
No, I just want to back it up one step here. So you're sitting around, I'm guessing just lounging on your couch, and or you're in your office, and then somebody's like, Martin Scorsese's on line one, and you're like, I'm going to take this call. What's this first discussion like? How was this kind of pitched to you as he was talking about, would you be interested in digging, have you heard about this book? Would you be interested in digging your teeth into this role?
I was standing on my desk. And I assumed that we had like a Zoom scheduled. We had a Zoom scheduled. And I think I had already read it at this point. I think you sent it to me, I read it, and then we did the Zoom. I have to start making notes as these things are happening. I mean, I was obviously blown away by her, by Grace. An interesting story is normally, around a character like this that's so unstoppable and powerful and broken. And we sat with it for a while because we didn't really know how to do it, how to go in, who to direct it. And I've told this story so many times, so anybody can walk out.
I mean,
don't. But it was just like, who does this? Who is this? And as Marty was just saying with Ariana's prose, it clicked that it was poetry, that it wasn't supposed to be a straightforward story, that it was a poem. And then as soon as it clicked that it was a poem, it was just Lynne Ramsay, and that was
when I thought it's the only one who could tackle this material and bring it off.
Yeah. And then they got started writing together, and while they were writing, Lynne was just being, a complete genius, just sending me lyrics, songs that she was writing about Grace, random moments that were kind of like a book that weren't really a script. I mean, just like the inside of her mind. It was an honor.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, it's hard to think of who else could I have not read the book, admittedly, but I know that it does have that it's more lyrical than linear, and the way that she tackles stuff. I mean, I think about scenes in Morven Krlar that she's done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Where that's very much in tune with
totally. That. Yeah, or you never really were here. You never really here. And what she does with soundtrack. I mean, she's one of the greats in terms of personal filmmaking. She's so extraordinary because you never the the way and the nature of how she puts images together and sounds together, and what that says of character, how the character comes through that. This is a devastatingly powerful character. You know, she is, what is this passion that she has, and this fear and this anger, more than anger, rage, you know, and it's all internal. It's all internal. And there's this baby. She's dancing around the baby, and she has a kitchen knife in her hands. I mean, I said, well, that's the movie. I said, who needs a plot? I mean, that knife, something's going to happen. Maybe not with the baby, but something is going to. This is on the edge, and I always was fascinated by, the nature of motherhood, having just created a being, and then right afterwards, the emotional.
What are you
Yeah,
now?
what it does to that person, that body, that woman. And so that, and stories about fathers, mothers, and daughters, really, are the stories that interest me most.
So once you had the full script and you knew Lynne was going to be doing this, what were the sort of discussions you and she were having about Grace? And like, how did you guys figure out that you wanted to make the same film, that this was a film that's up here? Wasn't her just going to your whims, or you handing everything over to her?
Well, she helped me really be more like unforgiving, because I think I am a wife and a mother. And, I do have to think about somebody's feelings every day and say sorry. And so there was stuff that I was trying to follow what felt like an instinct, but it was my first time playing a mother while actually being a mother. And so those instincts were getting confusing, because it's like, well, no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't lunge at the baby holding a knife, and she kind of had to be like, no, I know you wouldn't. But, and I had to kind of like and something that she said early on that I just kind of kept reusing was just like, she doesn't give a fuck. And it was just so like, it was like, duh, yeah, she doesn't give a fuck. And it was about, I was trying to find a time when she does need to have a little bit of remorse, authority, bend a little bit with Jackson. And, like going through the glass window, if there was just no awareness after that, she would just be so unlikable. So I think we helped each other in our different, we were battling each other. She wanted me to go too far. I didn't want to go, and then it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, from that tension.
Yeah, I think for me, reading the book, I wondered, when, first of all, as I say, who needs a plot, I'm joking in that respect, but this is plotless, and it's all through her character. And that's what I thought was so beautiful and so challenging about doing this kind of film, for example, from a novel like that. But when do they step in? When do they say, look, you need help, and take you and bring you to the hospital, And what's your reaction when you're sitting in the bed when he comes in?
Yeah. And I mean, throwing a party for a woman who just got out of a mental hospital.
No.
No, Jackson.
But yeah, but like those were people that were making different decisions. So we just had to, yeah. I was like, Lynne, nobody would wake up their baby because they're bored. Like, there's no better feeling than when your baby is asleep. And she's like, Grace would. And I was like, okay.
Spoken like a true parent.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's interesting, though, that you said that you had to kind of almost rewire your maternal instinct, though, to sort of like go in and be like, well, I wouldn't do this, but now what would Grace do in this entire idea of?
Well, yeah, I mean, my whole career, I've trained myself to not really question it. If I feel like, this would be too far, this would be, and on this movie, the whole experience was questioning it, was just, this doesn't feel right. And then it was confusing. I mean, I'm grateful I had Lynne.
So this is going to get mildly uncomfortable because we're going to talk about you're not here.
Me or Marty?
No, you.
Oh, great.
So just hang out for a second. If you need to check some texts or anything, it's all good. So, Mr. Scorsese, let's talk about this performance. I mean, I've said this before, obviously, but the idea that, people say, oh, it's such a fearless, an actor gives a fearless performance, but this to me just feels so free. With the possible exception of like Jenna Rollins and A Woman Under the Influence, I
Yes,
can't
exactly. Yeah.
think of another performance where it just
That
feels
just
like,
storms right through the screen that way.
Yeah.
And you're inside her psyche.
Yeah.
You're inside her soul. And there's no, there are like no prisoners taken in terms of the way she handles this role. It's just really strong. I don't even feel that there was any attempt at, when I'm in this in a superficial way of trying to get sympathy for the character. I mean, I have sympathy for her, but she's tough. I mean, she's hard to be around. She's hard to discuss. She's like, the scene in the car. I hate guitar music and everything. It's Crossroads playing. What are you talking about? It's one of the great uses of music in movies. What they did with the car crashing, and if she gets out, and hits the horse. I mean, there's it's frightening in that you don't know when Jen plays it what she's capable of. She's unexpected in every frame. The movement, body language, everything, waking up the baby, why not? I mean, it's her baby that way. I don't feel, even if she has a kitchen, I don't feel she's going to harm that child. I don't feel it. That's why I was interested in the novel. And when they decided, well, she walks through the plate glass window, yeah, I mean, at that point, something has to be dealt with. But I'm fascinated. There were two other books of Horowitz. The other one is Feeble-Minded. That's been translated as Sarah Moses, I think, and Orloff. And a third one called Unfit. So that is being translated. Yeah. So it's interesting that that arc is still in progress of those characters.
I like that you said unexpected because there is an unpredictability
scary
to Grace. Yeah, and I think that's also why Lynne was the perfect choice for this because I couldn't figure out. I'd seen the film 3 times now, and I couldn't figure out why I was still unsettled after a third time, knowing what was going to happen, knowing what was coming down the pike. And I think it's because Lynne really Lynne and you put the viewer, in Grace's mindset.
Yeah.
And that idea that you don't have the comfortability of riding passenger, you're in the driver's seat with her. Yeah, and that just lends this entire kind of like, okay, what's going to happen? I've already seen this film, but what's going to happen next? What is she going to do next? And I think that's what's so wonderful about the performance, if I can gush for a second. There's just a real kind of just live wire intensity combined with this unpredictability that really infuses the film. It gives it this kind of voltage.
Yeah, it gives it that drive, with the curiosity and drive of what's she going to do next, and how is he going to take it, and how are the mother, and all of this going on. As I say, it's kind of a scary film that way, in a sense. The fear of the ones closest to you going out of control and losing their minds.
Let's talk about Robert Pattinson for a second. How early in the process did his name get mentioned for Jackson?
Early. He's a great actor. And yeah, I think we thought of him immediately. And I've been excited to work with him. I really love his work, and I think he makes really cool choices. And then when he showed up, I had a very high expectation, but he blew right through it. He was so integral to this dynamic and to the script really working, because he really, in the script, Jackson is even more of just kind of a useless, like...
Go ahead, say it.
Cuck.
Yeah. Saw it coming. Okay.
You did see it forming in my...
I did, yeah.
And he added some more spine to Jackson, which, gave me something to push against, but it also it showed what they did have, because otherwise it's just too much. You're just like, why is this guy, he would just leave. And that was Rob. That was built once he was there and once we were, doing rehearsals, not like rehearsing the lines, but reading the script and talking about it.
Yeah, you can see that you guys really worked on the rapport between this couple so that by the time we actually, the viewer, enter this film, we have a good sense of their history and how that thing is kind of slowly coming apart in different ways. Can you talk a little bit, if you don't mind, about just you and Rob establishing that trust off screen so that you kind of knew that he had each other's backs? There's a lot of dangerous places I would think that you guys have to go as actors here, and you really need your scene partner to kind of be there for you.
Yeah, and it's very Rob's a professional, and so it feels safe getting intimate with somebody when you know that they're a professional. It's a safer place to go deeper with somebody. So, I mean, it's not like we didn't like hang out outside of set. We were exhausted, but when we got to work, we focused and we talked, and we're in similar places in our lives. We're both partners, we're both parents. So there was a lot of, not literal things to bring to it, but because especially as two people that are in healthy relationships, there's a lot of, what is it called when you work backwards? The reverse
engineering?
Yes. Reverse engineering how you would get this way, like, okay, well, if I don't apologize, and you're going to start feeling unappreciated, and then she's going to start lashing out. You can kind of start building that stuff, and then we became fast friends. He's really, really nice. So I think that friendship got added in there as well.
So if you think about screen mothers, the legacy of screen mothers, it's usually a binary. It tends to be like the self-sacrificing Stella Dallas type, or it tends to be no more wire hangers. It's kind of the monstrous matriarch and stuff. And I think with Grace, you don't get either of those. Grace is this whole other thing. So I just want to hear from both of you about how you feel this character, if she doesn't exactly counteract either of those cliches, if she kind of presents something else where it's a slightly more, she's nurturing and she's imperfect and she's authentic to what it might be like to be a mother in 2025, that kind of thing.
Well, as I say, I'm curious and always drawn to literature that has to do with mothers and daughters. Particularly, I have 3 daughters, and so I know of some. Well, I mean, at some points, the mother can really feel that I can't take this child anymore. I just can't take it. Does that mean she doesn't love? No. And she comes back. The mother is always there. It's the unconditional love. And one has to experience it to understand. I was very lucky. I had a mother, I really liked her.
You were lucky, yeah.
Yeah, she was great. With a great sense of humor. So it was a whole thing. So I always can't imagine a woman saying, "I can't stand this child." I can't take another moment of it. And that always fascinates me because I know they love them, and would they go as close as harming the child? I don't understand it. And so for me, that's psychology, or I should say, the more of an emotional reaction. I would think. I don't know. Is of course clouded by whether the person is unbalanced chemically or not. That's one thing. But to still a serious, honest person who's in fairly good health could still be furious and still be really angry at the child and not want to be with it. And so for me, I don't believe I've read books that deal with this, or at least the characters. The characters are in situations that reflect this. But films, maybe, yes, you have the binary, you have Stella Dallas, who is, we never show Stella Dallas. You showed it, even to my daughter, my youngest, they all crying at the end, Everybody. But it's a wonderful, and the original version, too, the 1925 Henry King is very good. But that's the mother is just so wonderful, that character. And then there's, there's Mommy Dearest.
Ma Barker.
And Ma Barker, who loved her sons, by the way. Her sons.
Not wisely, but too well, some might say.
Yeah, she had a gang, and that was it. But what I'm getting at is there's also, one forgets Mildred Pierce and Imitation of Life. And so, the exploration of mothers in those films is really interesting. You know, and over the years, watching or experiencing mothers and daughters very close up is fascinating. I mean, and it's not, I don't mean fascinating like an experiment. I'm living in it. And I wonder how it works. I guess I don't have to wonder. I mean, it's just, it is in and of the individuals involved, the relationship, something I can't really join in. You know, I don't, not a mother. And it's fascinating. It's a wonder.
It's definitely fascinating. I was excited to explore it. You know, I read the book when I was like 6 weeks postpartum, and I think there's so much to explore. It's like the depth of the ocean. It's like you give birth and you are broken. You're broken open to bring the thing into the world, and then you're broken open feeling so scared, so much love, so much fear, all of these new emotions so intensely in this new broken open body. And then somehow the world has to get crammed back in this new jagged broken body, and the world is so violent and so opposed to this sensitive soreness that your heart is now. And there's so much to hate about that. And it's not, you know, necessarily your baby, who especially as a newborn is like sleeping 12 hours a day. It's like, it's the change in who you are, your body, obviously, your relationship, everything is different. And it's just this really, it's like a violent death of something, you know, to create this life of something else. So I was honored to explore that life moment with you and Lynne.
I mean, that's the word is the mystery and the miracle of creating life. It's something as men can't have. It's woman, and it is the great mystery. And just what you described so beautifully, you know, it's quite unique. I mean, did you ever see the Rossellini film, The Miracle?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that has that, Madonna Magnani, yeah, that has that element, has that feel of, by the end, when the child is born, that is the miracle. And the miracle involves this extraordinary process that you have to go through as a mother, which is remarkable.
I will say too, I mean, as a parent, well, first off, parenthood's like trench warfare. Like you can try and describe it to somebody, but until they go through it,
Totally.
yeah, they don't really get it. Yeah. And obviously every experience with every child that every parent has is different. But I have to say that I've seen postpartum depression up close, both in my family and outside of my family. And this is maybe the first film that really gets at that loss of self, that real sense of just like, you know, I'm this mother now, and there's this wonderful thing that I have brought into the world, and who am I? Mm-hmm. And to be able, I think, to kind of go into this with just head first is quite amazing, frankly. I was going to ask if because you've spoken candidly about your own postpartum experience, I was going to ask if that had kind of played into it or vice versa, but it feels like you've already answered that question, that it really did become this kind of thing where you rethought your experience and the experience informed the film.
Well, funny story. I actually didn't have very bad postpartum with my first. I mean, I had all of the existential things. All of that's true, regardless of whether you have a negative experience. But I had really, really horrific postpartum depression with my second while we were editing this movie. So I had to watch it 70 times.
Oh, God.
I'm so sorry.
Wow, it was just such a bizarre experience. It was so... I can't say meta because it's not big enough. It was so weird.
Well, what comes through, and it just, you know, storms through the screen is, and the word is used a lot, but it is truthful. There is truth, and there's no hiding it in the picture what she does. So it's that's what I found when I was reading the book. I said, what if this could be a film, and you would play it? It would be amazing.
But you would need somebody willing to get to that truth, and I think that's what you guys did.
That's what I thought she would. And you did.
Thank you guys so much for being here with the
Thank
film.
you
Thank
for
you
being
guys
here
for
and
sticking around.
staying.
Appreciate it. Good seeing you as well. Take care.